You're watching Youth Capital Commentary.
Hello, my name is Adriana Van Horn, and I'm here with
Deborah Bond-Upson.
Nice to meet you, Deborah. So, could you tell me about the organizations that you work with?
I've been working with Parents for Public Schools of Hawaii since it was founded about 15 years ago, and we're an organization of families from across the state who support quality education and advocate for the needs of students, and teachers, and families. I'm also interim director of HEE, which is the Hui for Education Excellence, and that's an organization of organizations, lots of nonprofits from around the state and individuals who want to support education policy that will bring great education to our kids.
Do you think you could elaborate more on what policies you might be looking towards doing?
Well, we try to really listen to families and teachers and students for what their concerns are. And we also look to the future and think, are our schools set up to serve these kids who are going to have to compete in a new world? So we're constantly looking at, do we have the curriculum resources we need? Are we paying teachers enough? Are we supporting teachers enough? And we're looking at how are the schools communicating with families? You know, right now we have an absenteeism crisis. We've got 47% of our Pacific Islander kids in chronic absenteeism. And the state has been trying diligently since 2008 to get families engaged, which could help us, we think, to conquer absenteeism. But their attempts have not worked yet. And we think part of it is they really don't have the technologies, not using digital communications the way they could to interact with families. Families are working 2 or 3 jobs. They can't always come to school at a certain hour for a meeting. So we think we've got to get much more flexible to engage families and make it easier for families to support the kids coming to school. That's one of the issues. But there are many issues. Right now, one of the things I talked to you a little bit about before is the cell phone ban. Currently, there are 8 bills in the legislature to ban cell phones. And it's popular for people to just think, well, cell phones are a distraction and students shouldn't have them. But we polled teachers and families, and we found that of the 536 people who answered, 76% of them have kids with phones in school, and they want them to have phones in school. And they want them to have phones in school to communicate emergencies, but also to deal with changes in the schedule for the family during the day. So we think that even though teachers should not be burdened by trying to mediate cell phone use during instructional time, we think kids should be able to keep their cell phones with them. So we've been looking at apps and devices that would help the schools to implement a policy so that kids can keep their cell phones, they have them for emergencies, but they also are not interrupting their instructional time.
Could you tell me more about the apps and potential policies?
There's one app that's called Ditizo, and it is something that's governed by a QR code. So a kid would bring in their cell phone to a classroom and just focus the phone on the QR code, and it would shut down any social media or any streaming. It would still be usable for an emergency call. And at the end of the period, they focus on a different QR code and it opens it up. That's one app that could be acquired, and we're looking for a school right now to pilot that. We also know of a device that is being used, and it's called a Wander pouch. And it's a pouch that kids can put their phone into when they enter the classroom, walk by a magnetic thing that seals it, and when they're done, they go and it unseals it. One of the things we're concerned about is we don't want teachers to have to be policing kids about phones all the time or collecting them, which has a risk of liability for the district and the real scare for kids of losing those valuable phones.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much for your time. My name is Adriana Van Horn, and you're watching Youth Capital Commentary.
Aloha, my name is Lily Prine and I'm from Kalaheo High School. I'm with.
Genshu Price.
And what do you do in the community, Genshu?
So I'm the founder of Bottles for College. We are a multi-award-winning 501c3 nonprofit organization that collects recyclable cans and bottles to not only help protect the environment, but to also create college scholarships for local students.
Wow, and what inspired you to jump on this issue?
Bottles for College is all about creating actionable solutions for issues that we face here. Growing up in Hawaii, I see that we have a beautiful environment, an incredible community and culture, but we also come with very unique problems and ones that can be very detrimental to those beauties that we have. So we're all about raising environmental awareness through recycling, helping raise the bar to education and create more accessibility to higher education through our college scholarships, but also being able to create opportunities for community members, both from Keiki to Kapuna, to come and learn whether it's about environment, community, civics, even entrepreneurship. And that's only done if we bring together the community and bring it through a Bottles for College lifestyle.
How can we as a community help you?
So Bottles for College has actually launched a DOE pilot program with Hawaii high schools, where schools can launch Bottles for College recycling efforts on their campus and in their communities. And if they recycle enough cans and bottles, they create their own Bottles for College scholarship. This is separate from our general admission one, where students across the state of Hawaii can apply to. But it will be, for example, if Kalaheo High School was to start work with Bottles for College and you recycle, say, 100,000 cans of bottles, you would create your own college scholarship from Bottles for College for a Kalaheo High School student. So we are currently working with Kailua and Kapolei High School, shout out to them. And we are super excited to continue doing this going into the 2026 school year.
Wow, where can we find you guys for general donations?
So Bottles for College, we can be found on just going online. If you look up Bottles for College with the number 4, you'll find our website, which is bottlesforcollege.weebly.com. You can also go to our Instagram, which is just simple, our nonprofit name, Bottles for College. You'll see our past scholarship winners, our current events, our current endeavors, and also just updates about what we're doing. We are more than happy to answer phone calls, emails, DMs about if you have any questions and how you want to get involved.
Okay, and where do you see Bottles for College going in the future?
Well, I'm hoping Bottles for College can be a platform that all students can thrive from. What we're doing is creating a movement that can be spearheaded from anyone, from anywhere. And I'm hoping that as we grow as an organization, we're about to turn 3 years now, three years old now as a nonprofit. Thank you. We actually became a nonprofit when I was in middle school, when I actually attended here at King Intermediate. Oh, wow. 3 years ago now? No, sorry. I think it's been 4 years. Oh my gosh. I have to check. It's been quite a while. But every single year we get to continue growing, continue reaching new heights. And I'm just so excited to see what Bottles for College can do. And I'm hoping that it can now become truly created by the community for the community.
Okay, thank you for your time. This has been Youth Capital Commentary. I'm Lily Perrine. Thank you. Aloha, my name is Lily Prine from Kalaheo High School, and I'm with.
Kaneohe Lehua Nakata, but you can call me Kumu.
Okay, Kumu, what is your occupation?
I am a teacher, a Kumu at Kalaheo High School.
What courses do you teach?
I'm a social studies teacher, so I teach modern history of Hawaii to 11th grade, and I also teach participation in democracy at 11th grade level.
What are the highlights of your courses?
Seeing kids engaging with the content, right? Seeing them use it in not just from a textbook or like writing a paper about it, but going out and doing community service and finding what they like to do in their community and malama and take on that kuleana there, or with PID, being involved politically or engaged in civics and thinking about voting or thinking about how the law can affect them and what they can do to help people in their community through the law.
Okay. And you mentioned that your students do community service. What community service do you have them do?
So for my modern history of Hawaii class, right now my juniors are required to do 16 hours of community service within the semester, and that they can do any types of community service, ranging from helping with coaching little children's sports, or working at nonprofits on the weekends, or helping at the Humane Society, or volunteering at car washes, or anything to do with community.
Okay. How about for your participation in democracy class?
civics engagement will look like for them civic service of like writing testimony for bills that they pick themselves, or going to neighborhood board meetings, or some kind of community meeting that talks about legislative stuff or laws or democracy in that community.
Are there any bills you yourself track or are interested in?
I am interested in the school lunch, for like free reduced lunch or lunch for all.
Alice households?
I think it was for all school children, but I know like there was students at Castle that were really involved with trying to get that legislative, but like other legislative stuff with like dealing with Lahaina or dealing with education is really what I'm focused on or was looking at. I forgot the number.
That's fine. There's also a bill out there that will support teachers and help them pay for supplies so it doesn't come out of pocket. Do you support this bill?
I do support that bill. I mean, I don't know. From what you're telling me, I support it. I think we're a state that doesn't take property tax or income tax or whatever to go towards education. So if there's a bill that helps support teachers, that supports education, and I could support that.
Are there any things you wish were upcoming bills?
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, there's bills that I hope that don't die out. Right now is that time where a lot of bills, they're not going to make it to be passed. This year, I think a lot of ones that focus on Second Amendment rights and ones that focus on water in Maui are bills that I hope that really go through and really that we don't just nix early on in our legislative session.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Kumu. I'm Lily Prine, and this has been Youth Capital Commentary. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Youth Capital Commentary.